Whoa, 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 whoa. Damn right, I'm a UPK nigga. Straight out of one West, no contest. We the best to the niggas that's living, trying to contend with the stress. Going through the test, no access, cause you oppressed slaves. Niggas is dying off in waves. Living in dirt, now it's a grave. Niggas cross-talk through the crosswalk or the white chalk over the bodies of roads that you paid. Americans killing us, saying they fearing us. Put the drugs in the hood, now my niggas delirious. Put a gun in my face, all because of my race. Click, boom, flash, put some Skittles to murder my ass. Like a sheep to the slaughter, heart beating harder and harder. Baptized with these words, never dipping in water. So now we pray to the Father. Give strength to the Father that's looking for the marauder. That's fucking taking our daughters, nigga. It's wartime. Lights up, nigga, showtime. Got the green light on that ass, yeah, go time. Either boot up, shut up, or get your ass up. Cause we ain't got time to be playing. It's all fuck America. Heaven for the thief, hell for the slave. Reaping what you sow, meaning giving back what you gave for a clean slate. You try to imitate, you was always fake. America, every city, state, this is your fate. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, 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 to America.
On the timeline, giving the rhythm to expose the intricacies of the vibe. Doing my I ain't shit, but getting lit is a pastime. So in a minute, I'ma pass out. I hope you get it. If you didn't, you can crash flying. Kinda simple if you feel it, past your last line. But it will confuse a bad mind. A damn shame. That's the exact thing on which your ass fried. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Then the nigga fly. Hope you got an alibi. Bombs from the sky, rich devil lullaby. Damn, the missiles high. I can see him from the parking lot. Living finna ball out. Devils finna fall out. All out warfare, nightmares in the big house. They murdered us for years and thinking shit was gonna turn around. Pride never learned. This motherfucker burns down. Yelled in them streets. Told them to breach. All of you angels bring woe to this beast. You rule for a time, but we play for keeps. I pray to my Father, bring woe to this beast. Remember them times we hung on them trees. All of you nations bow down to your knees. Remember them ships, they brought us in fleets. Fuck they Apollo, bring them the heat. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, to America. Whoa, 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 to America. Whoa, whoa, whoa. To America.
God is going to destroy this empire, man. You about to see famine in this place. You think them fires in California is bad? That's just the beginning of what the Lord is about to do. Because you've been evil to the Lord's people. You've been wicked to the Most High's children, man. You've been destructive to the 12 tribes of Israel. Let me tell you something, black man. You better put on your strength now, man. Put back on your strength and might, black man, because your day is coming. Your day is coming because the Lord is going to bring judgment on this earth.
Any man give his life for Yahweh Shai Mashiach in Christ and fall up under that UPK banner. It's my brother and my blood, and I will die and kill for him if necessary. It's all about that warfare, boy. Back up, it's all about that warfare, boy. Take my soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. My soldiers take grip till I'm stand down. Take grip. Now this ain't no movement, this is take down. We
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. And they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. Understand? Your whole hands to this white ass need to stop it. Ass you to God damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bike on me. Boy, ass need to stop it. Ass need to prop. It's about to get serious. Boy, when they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed he up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. See the prophets. So I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the props. You know, like we all come together. You know what I'm saying? They say God so loved the world. God so loved the world, and no, boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need the props. Don't give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, y'all, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop it. Hand shit wrong with step. I'm solid for show. To the fake niggas, stay silent. I got it. Let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no loss. Ain't no talking, but we got the flow. Ain't no peace. Just play with your own. I'ma be loyal to the right arm. Tell him we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got you, baby mother on high. Got your baby pants through the fire. Ain't she the props? That baby so belong to the Lord. I tell you about it. Devil will fail you, bitch. I can afford it. I prepare slaughter. You bring my water. Push your leaders weak. Let the lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop. Their ass see the props.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, right. But that's what the church is for, lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop it, ass need to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
I ain't at the die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. Now we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't at the die to meet the devil.
I remember I was only 13 when I met the demon. Gave me a deuce and a bundle of cocaine. Told me to sell to my people, make sure you keep them fiending. If any try to show you, make sure that you leave them leaking. He said,
I'ma hold you down when problems pop up.
How you got me moving this dope? Want me in lockup? He said,
Don't you want the Benz Vertible with the top cup?
Yeah.
Stop, bitch, you get in that kitchen, let it rock up. Bitches love the dope boy, especially when it's pop up. I know you know Ron.
Who's the plug from by the block up?
I'll tell you a little secret, make sure that you keep your mouth shut. Ron got a Lexus, crib in Philly and Texas. Trips to the Bahamas, just got a whip for his mama. He fucking up in Bahamas, be honest, he seeing decent though.
I hear you, but I just seen Ron about a week ago. Fact, he ain't looking too good. His knees is kind of slow. I asked him why the struggle. He got stuck up for his bundle, but them 6 hollow tips in his legs what made him crumble.
At least he got a house and mama is living good.
Said the feds took it all. He right back in the hood. Still you try to play me. You gave us crack in the 80s. Made us abort our babies and making hoes out of ladies. I know you got me gravy, but Satan, you must be crazy. It's gonna take more than cause one to amaze me. I seen niggas shoot for the stars, but being lazy. Never get their head at the cloud, so you don't faze me.
I guarantee that you gon' regret it. Remember I said it.
No, you could get it.
What you saying? I can't win?
No, devil, nice try. So until we meet again,
I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. And we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't religious or superstitious, but we been getting fucked and put to the side like a mistress. Police patrolling why because prison became a business. They murder one of ours and they start talking about forgiveness. We think that it's alright because we got public assistance. If this ain't hell, dog, what is this? Where was all lives mattered when they killed Osama? There was no peace talk like the Dalai Lama. Bush dropping bombs saying he gon' bring the drama. They got justice, man, they even caught the Boston bomber. But when we ride, they send the military and armor. When we fight oppression, then our people die a martyr. You reap what you sow, some people call it karma. When Christ return, y'all gon' get this harvest like a farmer. Don't tell me don't bring up the past no more. They still trying to settle the score with a side of Shakur. I changed my life and I'm just trying to live life right. But at night I look behind me and see flashing lights patting me down. Got nothing that's poking me right. I don't smoke or push pills, I gave up my vice. So Mr. Officer, why you wanna take my life? And your honor, why you gave our homeboy's life? I've been wondering why you shot our homeboy twice. Pussy with a gun screaming out that he got a knife. He came from Habibi's spot, it was chicken and rice. Shit's trife, I'm just giving visuals like Skype. As Trayvon, Mike Brown, Akai Gurley, Eric Garner, Sean Bell, Philando, Olden, Sterling, Jaquan McDonald. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. The white man is so devilish. Ask Hammurabi, he'll tell you who the devil is. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. And we seen the rise of the devil. We fell for the lies of the devil. When we got high was the devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. I ain't have to die to meet the devil. Angels fell and landed in the ghetto. The earth was given to the hands of devils. And we seen the rise of the devil. I pray for the demise of the devil. Lord knows I despise every devil. I looked into the eyes of the devil and said, I pray to die every devil.
All right, shalom. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Barakathum to the Akim. Okay. Shalom, Yahweh Shemal Alathun by Hashem Yahushai to the Akwathians. Okay. Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. Not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. This is the Florida Isupk law class. We back in the building, getting it in, okay, teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people who they are, giving them back their culture, their heritage, and their laws, okay? And that's what, you know what I mean? Like, that's what it's all about. There's a God that created the universe. He chose a people, and those people are supposed to serve him and love him with all their heart. We went into an agreement with that God, and we said we would do that, okay? We said we would love our power. And if we loved our power, he would put us on top of the world, of the earth. We would be the leading class people. But if we turned our back on our power and decided not to love him the way he told us to love him, then he would put us in punishment and slavery. Okay. He told us how we are to love him. And that way is the laws. Okay. He gave you laws. The Bible says, if you love God, you will keep his commandments. Okay. So that is how you love the power. That is how you love him and give him praise by keeping his commandments, doing what he said, being a good servant. You're going to serve somebody in this earth. You are going to serve somebody or something. You're either going to serve the power that created the universe, or you're going to serve sex, drugs, homosexuality. You're going to serve something. You're going to serve some sort of God. Valentine's Day, Christmas. You're either going to serve a vain God, or you're going to serve the God that created everything in the universe, including the human race. Okay, he created all of mankind. Like Commanding General Yohana said, God created man. The white man didn't create man. God made man. And when he did that, he chose a certain people out of the race, the human race that he created. He chose a family. And there's no getting around that. That the people that he chose, the good news in the earth today for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is that it's you. You are the one that the power of the universe chose. So we should love the power that chose us. I mean, that only makes sense. There's the power, the most high power, the ultimate power chose Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So why wouldn't you choose the ultimate power of the universe? Serve him instead of serving white culture, Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, Halloween, white Jesus, white supremacy. You should choose the same people that God chose. Your family, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And I understand we don't run the earth today. We're on the bottom. Okay. We don't have a military. We don't have an economy. We jammed up. But you should still love your own kind. That was somebody, there's different races of people on the earth. The Chinese people, they strive, they're at odds with America since you can remember. Since they created their society, since America created their society, China and America has been at ends because China wants to be the ruling power, the ruling race on the earth. The Caucasian race wants to be the ruling class on the earth. The East Indian race wants to be the ruling class on the earth. Everybody wants to be, they want their family to rule the earth, except the lost 12 tribes of Israel, so-called African Americans, so-called Native Indians, so-called Hispanics. This is what we aspire to. We aspire to be not the ruling class, but we aspire to be equal to everybody else. We're so low, we've been beat down so bad, so we can't even see being the ruling class. We're so down low, we look up and all we can do is strive to be equal. Okay? We strive to be equal to every other race when we should be striving to rule the earth like our God chose us to do. Okay? He chose us to rule the earth. And yet we want to be equal. Black people have been marching in the streets for 60 years saying they want to be equal, when all you got to do is get with your brothers and sisters, okay, and serve your God, your power, and you will be the ruling class on the earth. Okay. our King Yahushua will return and put blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians back on top like our God chose us to do, chose us to be, okay? But first, we have to serve him. We have to love our God. That's how you serve him, love him. Keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, okay? And that's, the biggest thing. That's the biggest jam up black, Hispanics, and Native Indian people got, is when it comes to keeping these laws, thou shalt and thou shalt not. We run off our own emotions. We go off of how we feel and what we think instead of going off this Bible, going off the records that our power left for us to learn from, okay? And so that's what I'm gonna do tonight, is read some scriptures to show blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people we should love our God. And how do we do that? By keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. This is the law class, okay? The laws are very essential to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Like I brought it out before, I've said this. We can't get away from these laws. We cannot get away from these laws. You either keep the laws or you don't keep the laws. Either way, the laws exist. The whole thing is in play. There's consequences. You can't get away from the laws. You can't say they're done away with. All you can do is not keep them or keep them. And according to this Bible, you keep the laws, God will put you on top of the earth. You will be the ruling class on the earth. But if you do not keep the laws, then you will be in captivity. You will be in slavery, okay? So we can't get away from these laws. There's consequences. You either keep the laws or you don't. It's not, you can't say they don't exist. The proof of it is that you are living out the prophecy that Moses gave us. He gave us a prophecy saying if we don't keep these laws, we were going to go into slavery with ships. And lo and behold, the lost 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, went into slavery on cargo slave ships. No one else went into slavery. No other race was in the bottom of those ships except the lost 12 tribes of Israel. We were in those ships. We were the cargo, okay, on slave ships. So like I said, you can't get away from these laws. You either keep the laws, go and be the ruling class in the earth, or you turn your back on loving your God and keeping his laws, and now you go into the ghetto. You go into the reservations, the barrios. So the proof is, these laws exist. Also, the proof is that the people that are in this condition is God's chosen people. We just have to wake up and realize that our lives would be better if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You would have a better life. Your children would have a better life. Your children's children will have a better life. Your children's children would have a better life if we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, so that's what, that's the bottom line for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, that's the base of it all, keeping these laws, coming back to your power. And, it's rough, but hey, it's not so rough to love another Negro, to love another Hispanic or Native Indian. Okay. So the first scripture I'm going to read is in the book of Deuteronomy, okay? And shalom to everybody that's in the chat, okay, watching the class live, okay? Crystal, Morris, Shayara, Sabrina, okay, shalom, Yahweh Shema, Atah Bashem Yahushai, to you Akwatians. Young man, Yarsha Allah, Trooper Halak. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Brakatah to you brothers. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna get some scriptures showing that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians how to love your God. You know what I mean? Because we say it all the time. People I talk to on a daily basis, you know, they love God in their minds, in their tongue, in their lips, in their words, but they don't love God in their actions. They love themselves. When it comes to anything according to these scriptures and these laws, when it's something that they don't like, then they have a art with the Bible. But if it's something that, you know what I mean, they agree with and they're okay with, then the Bible is wonderful and just the best thing on the earth. So just like, you know, listen, life is not all cupcakes and bubbles, okay? Life is warfare. That's life, okay? Life is adversity, okay? So you ought to love your God through good times and bad times. And we've been reading about that in the book of Job every Saturday for the past few weeks now, okay? So back to the scriptures showing that we should keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and that's how you love your power. Loving God is keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, okay? So let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 16. Put it in the chat real quick. Verse 16. Okay, so we're going to read the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 16. And show blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians loving God is not just saying it with your lips, but it's keeping his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. So the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30 and verse 16. This is how it reads. Okay, let's start at verse 15. Y'all know how I do. I always end up going up a little bit. Okay, Deuteronomy 30 and 15. See, I have set before thee this day life and good, in death and evil. Okay. This is the beginning of the Most High telling you, you keep these laws, you live. You don't keep the laws, you die. What is death? Death in this context is not just laying down and, you know, going to sleep and passing on, but death is the condition you live in. Okay, death and evil. Bad things are going to happen to you while you're still on earth. You're going to get AIDS. You're going to get shot by the police 60 times. You're going to get hung on trees. You're going to get monkeypox. You're going to get high blood pressure, diabetes. You're going to live in the ghetto. These evil things are going to happen to you if you don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? See, I have set before thee this day life and good. Life is good, okay? life is keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. And death and evil. So you got the choice. There's a choice. That's the only free will you got in the earth. You know what I mean? The only free will you have in the earth is you decide to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, or you decide not to. Okay? That's the free will you have as a Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian human being on the earth. Verse 16. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord your God. Okay? Moses is giving you a commandment from God that you ought to love him. Okay? Our power requires for you to love him. Okay? He created you. Why wouldn't you love the power that created you, that created this earth, created the universe? What is there not to love? Okay? Okay, and in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God. How do you love him? To walk in his ways and to keep his commandments, in his statutes, in his judgments, that thou mayest live it, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whether thou goest to possess it. Okay? So listen. Loving God is walking in his ways. What are his ways? The law, statutes, and commandments. Listen, your power gave you the ultimate manual, life manual. You live by these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to live. Okay, it tells you right here that thou mayest live. Okay, so you have to think certain, in certain ways, because, this book is so poetic. Like the living here is saying that you will have a good life. Like you won't get shot in the streets. You won't be hungry. You won't fear for your life when you get in your car and go to work or go visit somebody. Your life will be good. The people in the earth that rule the earth will be your own family, and they're going to love you. That's part of the laws. Love thy brother as thyself. Okay? So you keep these laws and you're going to live. Okay? What the people say, like when times are good, they got plenty of money, things are, going your way, you're prospering in the earth, you're on a boat somewhere, you're on an island somewhere, a beach, living it up. What do they say? This is living. This is life. Because it's good. It's good. But when times are hard and things are bad, you're on the bottom. Okay? When you're a crackhead, when you're homeless, when you're strung out on marijuana, because marijuana is a drug and people are addicted to it, whether they believe it or not. Okay? When you're in this condition, Black people feel like dying, man. Hispanics, Native Indians, they don't even want to live. They feel like this is death. This is, this life is worse than death. Why? Because you're going against your power, and he's going to punish you for it. That's the reality of the third dimension where we live. You keep the laws, you live. We just read it in the Bible. You don't keep the laws, then that's death, evil. Okay? So this book is written to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This is our history. Okay. I ain't even gonna get into that, this crap Black History Month. You know what I mean? Every day of my life is Black history. You can't get away from Black history. You live it every day. The history of your forefathers coming over here on slave ships, you live that every day. You can't get away from it. Okay? That's your history. We live that history every day. Okay? We live the history of going against our power and him putting us on the reservations and in cargo slave ships. We live with that every day. This is the result of it. Being called African American is the result of Black history. Being called a Native Indian, that's the result of Black history. Okay? So we live Black history every day. Forget, Black History Month. Forget anything this society is pushing on your family. Push it to the side and learn your culture. Relearn your culture. Get your brain washed. Relearn your culture. Okay? Learn your real history. Learn that the history of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians is the greatest man that ever walked the earth was part of your family. Learn that history. Learn the history of Moses declaring to you that you keep the laws, you go on top, you go against the laws, you're on the bottom. Learn that history. Okay? So we could drop that one. And also, it's heavy right here where it says, keep these laws right here it says, "And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goes to possess it." So I don't care if you're in the ghetto, on the reservation, or in the barrios. You start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and your power will bless you. Okay? So we're going to drop that one. Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah, Trooper Mashah. Let's go to 2 John, the book of 2 John, chapter 1 and verse 6. Okay. These laws is everything to Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, whether we know it or not. We can't get away from these laws. We can't get away from the covenant that we went into with our power. When we said we would keep his laws, we would love him. Okay? All this is what any parent desires and wants from their child or their children, is for them to love them. And how do you love your mama? How do you love your daddy? By doing what they say, doing what they taught you, coming up, walking in their ways. Now, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we got to change our lives. And we got to come back to what our Father gave us. We got to come back to his love, okay? And that then you will live. You'll be prosperous in the earth, okay? Our whole life should be nothing but loving our power, the creator of the universe, okay? He gave you life. Well, I love the man, the spirit, the God that gave you life, okay, that created you. Love him. How do you do that? Keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Do what he say. Keep his commandments. They're right here in the records of Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, okay? So let's read the book of 2 John, chapter 1, and we'll start at verse 1. No, verse 6, okay? Chapter 1 and verse 6. And this is love. See, this is a heavy scripture right here. Because Black people, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, we don't know what love is, okay? Especially when it comes to our God, our power. We don't even know how to love one another, much less love our God, okay? 2 John chapter 1 and verse 6, and this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that ye have heard from the beginning. From the beginning, our power has told Blacks, his chosen people, okay? Adam, Noah, Isaiah, all the people in this book, okay? These laws, statutes, and commandments have been around from the beginning. From the book of Genesis all the way through Revelation, it's talking about keeping God's commandments, doing what your power required of you to do. Keep doing your part in the earth. Listen, I thought about this real quick. If you want the earth to be a better place, if you don't want hunger, if you don't want holes in the ozone layer, if you don't want animals to go extinct, if you don't want mass shootings at schools, if you don't want nuclear bombs being dropped, if you don't want rape in the earth, you should want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people to rule the earth, because we would be the most righteous people to rule the earth. Okay, it's just in our nature. It's how God created us. If you want real heaven on earth, like people picture and talk about, it'll be, the whole earth will be peaceful and all this, that, and all races will get along. You're right, because we're going to rule the earth, and we're going to make sure all the other races are in line and are not savages and killing one another, not being, a plague on the earth. We will make sure that the earth is in a pristine condition. Okay? So if you want heaven on earth, you should want Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to rule the earth. Okay? And the only way that's going to happen is if we start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments that was given to us from the beginning, since Adam. Since the Lord raised Adam up, raised him up to be civilized, he gave him commandments. He gave him laws. Thou shalt not. All right, Adam, you can do this and you can do that. You're going to run the earth. You're going to be the top dog. Just do this and do this and do that. But don't do this. Don't do that. You can only do this thing, and this thing over here. Don't do this thing over here, because that's going to cause you to go off. That's going to cause you to stop loving me. That's going to cause you to go against what I said. And that's where we at today. These laws have existed from the beginning. You either keep them or you don't. Adam kept the laws at first. He was solid. It was so wonderful. He had the Garden of Eden. That's what this thing's all about. Okay. You keep these laws, the earth is wonderful. You won't lack for anything. The earth will just work in your favor. But once you stop keeping these laws, now you have to till the earth and get no increase out of it. Okay? So since the beginning, our power has required obedience. Somebody's got to do it. We're on earth. We're not in the third dimension. Somebody's got to be obedient and run this goddamn earth. And he chose blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to do it. So you want heaven on earth, keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Okay, let's get back to the scriptures. The book of 2 John, chapter 1 and verse 6. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandment that ye, as ye have heard from the beginning, ye should walk in it. Okay? What you heard from the beginning, thou shalt and thou shalt not, you should walk in that. You should do that. Be obedient. Okay? That's what's required of your power. That's what's required of your God. That's what's required of you. Okay? These laws. You're gonna serve something. Serve the power that chose you. Okay? Why would you not want to serve the ultimate power of the universe, the power that created the universe, that will give you any and everything that you desire? All you got to do is be obedient. Okay? So we could drop that one. And let's go one over to the book of 1 John. Okay? 1 John. Let's go to 1 John. Chapter 2, verse 3. Okay? Right. Okay. The book of 1 John, chapter 2, and verse 3. All right. These laws, I can't talk about them enough. Okay. Because I'm essentially, I don't know about y'all, but I've had enough of this hell that we in. I have had enough. Okay, I'm ready for something different. Let's go to 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. Did I already put that in there? Okay. Something's going on. All right. Okay. I've had enough of getting my tail spanked by the power, my father. Okay. The what is in the Old Testament, our God was the terrible power. Okay. He's still that. He will kill the whole earth for Negroes and Hispanics and Native Indian people. He will kill the whole earth for the lost 12 tribes. All we have to do is be obedient to him. But Christ came and broke it down to the bone gristle and got you to see the relationship. Okay? Yeah, you should fear him, but you should also love him. You are going through this because he loves you. Just like any good father. You go off, you spank that tail. It's getting spanked. You know what I mean? It's going down. but he's not coming out of the fourth dimension and doing it himself. So he put a people over you, and they, Esau took it way too far though. We've been in captivity before, but we didn't get hang on trees. We didn't get shot in the streets 60 times. Okay. Esau's got that perpetual hatred for us ever since we came out of Egypt, and we was trying to get to the land that the Most High gave us, and we had passed through Edom. He killing off, all the weak, the old people and the children and the women. As we trying to travel through, he's back there killing our people. Esau has had this perpetual hatred for blacks, Hispanics, his brother. Okay, Jacob. Esau's got a perpetual hatred for his brother Jacob, who is the lost 12 tribes. Okay, but listen, we can put him in his place. We can put him in his place. All we got to do is keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. And like I said, our power, our Father will destroy everything and everybody for us. But we have to be obedient. We have to love our power, love our God, love our Father. How do we do that? Keep his laws. Do what he said. You know what I mean? Choose this day who you will serve. Choose pork or chicken. You know what I'm saying? So that's it. We got to keep these laws. Okay? Let's go. Let's read 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. Okay? And hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. This is written in the New Testament, where, the Christian church, everybody who loves to eat pork, love to do drugs and be homosexuals, they go to the New Testament and try to find scriptures that say, the law's done away with. Like, if the law is done away with, how in the heck can there be sinners in the earth? How can there be a sinner in the earth if the laws are done away with? Doesn't make sense. You just love yourself. You love yourself more than you love your Father. And you got to change your ways. You have to change that. Okay, stop loving yourself more than you love the God of the universe. Okay, so let's read it again. And hereby we do know that we know him. The him is the Most High Power, your Father. How do you know him? Right here it says, and hereby, like in this thing I'm about to tell you, right here, what I'm about to say, this is how you know that you know your power. And if you know somebody, you know what they like and what they don't like, what they require. Okay? It says, and hereby we do know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. So you say you know the Most High Power, you love him, then you'll keep his commandments. Young man, Yasha Allah. I got you on here twice. Shalom, Yahba Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahba Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Most High Christ. It's good to see you, warrior. Okay. So you know what it is. We in this class, we back in the building Wednesday night, getting this law in, right? Teaching blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that we should love our power. How do we love our power? By keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay, that's how we love him. And it's written in the New Testament. Okay, the book that the Christians try to use to say that the laws are done away with. Okay, it's right here. You know, if you say you love the Most High God, you would be keeping his laws. We just read it, okay? We're in the book of 1 John, okay, chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him. Like if you know somebody, you know what I mean? Like you, I know, you tell somebody, listen, somebody tell you something about your mama or your daddy or your brother or your sister. And you be like, no, I know him. I know my mama. I know my brother. He wouldn't say that. He wouldn't do that. He's not about that. And this is how you know God. That you can sit back and say, listen, nah, I know the Most High Power. I know him. And he requires these laws. He's something he requires from the people that he chose. Okay. Can you read? Young man? Oh, you got me on mute.
Salakia, the one, you hear me?
I hear you now.
Yeah, I'm hearing two teachers going on at the same time. I'm not sure why, so.
Yeah. Well, I saw you
Sound
had.
like Cap.
Oh, okay. You wanna drop out and try to come back in?
Con, sir, I'm going to try that.
Okay. All right. So listen. To know your power is to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay. Verse 4. He that saith, I know him. Somebody tell you they know God. They love God. And keep not his commandments is a liar. Now we're in the New Testament, okay? The New Testament is telling you if you're not keeping God's laws, you don't love him. And that's the reality you're going to have to check yourself with, okay? You're going to have to check yourself, okay? If you saying that you love God, but you're not keeping his commandments, the reality is that you don't love God. You don't care about the Father. You don't care about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Because to love God is to love your brother like yourself. You don't care about your children. You don't care about your wife. You don't care about your husband. You don't care about your mother or your father or nobody else. You know why you don't care? Because you don't love God. And if you love God, you would keep his commandments. And by keeping his commandments, your family would be safe because we would be the ruling class people on the earth. So they wouldn't get shot down by the police. They wouldn't die of diabetes and AIDS. So if you're not keeping these laws, you don't love God, you don't love Christ, and you don't love Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. Okay, that's reality check time, man. Reality check time. You're not keeping these laws, you don't love shit. You don't even love yourself. Because you're not doing the work to put yourself in a position in the earth to live. We just read it earlier. Choosing this day, good or evil, life and good, death and evil. You're choosing death by not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. So you don't even love yourself. You'd rather be in this hell. You're choosing this. You're choosing death. You're choosing evil for yourself, for your children, if you have any, for your mom, for your dad, for your aunties, your uncles, and every other Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian on the earth. By not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you're choosing death. You don't love nobody, not even yourself. Okay? Verse 4, John chapter 1, verse 4. He that saith, I know him, and keep not his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. That's that reality check. You got to check yourself, man. You lying to yourself, talking about you love God. Stop it. Because everybody knows it's 2023. It's the year 2023. Everybody knows right now, if you're not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments in this Bible, you don't love God. Okay? And if you don't know, we here to teach you that. We here to teach you. That's why we do these classes dang there every day of the darn week. We on the airwaves. Okay? So you will know. You get a chance to change your life. Okay? 1 John chapter 2 and verse 5. But whosoever keepeth his word, what's his word? Thou shalt and thou shalt not. Okay? That's his word. Thou shalt not be sodomite. Okay? Thou shalt not eat anything that cheweth the cud, but don't have a cloven hoof. All right? Okay? Thou shalt and thou shalt not. That's his word. But whosoever keepeth his words, the law, statutes, and commandments, in him verily is the love of God perfected. I heard, somebody told me today, because, my life, I'm about this truth. So, I'm talking and nobody's perfect is what I'm told, nobody can be perfect. Okay. All right. So this is the world's interpretation of perfect. That you will never, ever, ever, ever make a mistake. That you're just going to be perfect and wonderful. That's not reality. Okay, that's not reality. Okay, reality is you're going to make a mistake. You're going to offend somebody sooner or later. You're going to make a mistake. Being perfect is knowing how to correct that mistake. Okay, that's being perfect. By following what these scriptures tell you to do. Okay, you offend a brother, you're not perfect. But if you go to him and him alone, you just perfected the law, statutes, and commandments. Perfect. Okay. So understand that the definition, according to this Bible, being perfect is just knowing how to correct yourself or situations. Okay. Everybody is gonna, you know what I mean? You're gonna make a mistake. It's gonna happen. Offense shall come. Okay. But knowing how to rectify according to the scriptures, that's perfect. Okay. That's perfect. Okay. Verse 5. But whosoever keepeth his word, in him verily is the love of God perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. Hereby know we that we are in him. Okay, this is how we know we love the Most High God. This is how we know we're walking in his way. Okay, that we are in him. We are in his spirit. We're in his mind frame. That we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's how you know. That's how you do it. Not by just saying it with your mouth. Okay. That's all. We've come way too accustomed in the hood. Everybody love everybody. I love you. No, you don't. Just words. Just words. If you love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people, you'll keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, period. Because you love them so much, you love yourself, that you're going to keep these laws and give them a life. You're going to give them life instead of death. You are actually physically doing the thing that's going to cause blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to have life and not death on the earth. That's how you know you love God, by loving yourself, loving other blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? So we're going to stay right here. Yeah, let's drop down to verse 15. Okay? This is Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. This is where you learn how to love the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? We're going to show you. We're going to teach you. We're going to help you change your life from thinking that the laws are done away with, from being homosexual, from being a drug dealer, okay? From eating whatever you want to eat, from serving white Jesus. We're going to help you change your life, okay? That's our whole purpose, is to change the life of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians so they can have life instead of death on the earth in the third dimension. Okay? So let's go down to verse 15. 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Love not the world. So it's telling you to love not the world, because even in the New Testament time, the world that was in rulership was the world of the Caucasian race. And lo and behold, 2,000 years later, they're still the ruling class on the earth. Okay? And it's high time that changed. The only way that's going to change is for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians start keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments again. Okay? Get our power back on our side. Okay? Love him, and he, you know what I mean, will put you on top. Okay? Verse 15. Love not the world. It's not saying the earth. It's saying the world, the society that rules the earth. Don't love that. Don't love Valentine's Day. Don't love birthdays. Don't love homosexuality. Don't love pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. Okay? All these things that the world push right now. Homosexuality, they push it. It's legal in this world. It's an alternative lifestyle. Eating pork, shrimp. Pork is the other white meat. It's legal in this world. And right here it's saying, love not this world. Shrimp, crab, and lobster, they're delicacies in this world. And the Bible is saying, love not this world. The things that this world push. Birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, white Jesus. Love not this world. Okay? Neither the things that are in the world. Okay? I just broke that down. Don't love. This book right now is telling the lost 12 tribes not to love the people that run the world today, this society. The word world just means age of society. Okay? This society, the people that run this society, the Bible's saying don't love them. Okay? Neither the things that are in the world. And I just ran all that down. Don't love money. The love of money, okay, is the root of all evil. But you say, we need money. Yes, but you need not love money. You love money, you're loving this world. You love the things that money is going to get you in this world. A car, drugs, prostitutes, okay? You love that, then you know what I mean? You love this world, this society. And this book is telling you, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world, okay? What's in this world? Birthdays, Valentine's Day, drugs, homosexuality. Love not the things that are in this world. Okay? If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Okay? Because the love of the black God is he goes against everything that's this world is about. So if you love the nigger God, you won't love homosexuality. You won't love marijuana or crack or heroin or mollies or whatever the heck they got going on today. Okay? You won't love birthdays and Halloween and Christmas. You'll love the Passover. You'll love your brother as you love yourself. Okay? You'll love these laws, statutes, and commandments that our power gave us. Okay? But if you don't love that, then the love of the God of this Bible is not in you. There's no love for him in you. Okay? Because you're not walking in his ways. Okay? We got to keep these laws, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We got to come back to our world, our culture. Okay? Come back to the black world. Okay? The Hispanic world, the Native Indian world, the world of the Most High Power, the lost 12 tribes, fringes. Okay? Come back to that world. Hebrew language, come back to that world. Okay? Love your God. Keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Yeah, young man, what's probably going on is you got the class up twice, maybe, and you're hearing an echo or something, but it's no sweat. Go ahead and figure it out. Okay? All right, let's stay in the book of John, 1 John right here, and go over to let's go over to chapter 4. Chapter 4 and verse 20. Okay. There it is. All right. Let's go over to chapter 4 and verse 20. Okay. What are we talking about? We're talking about loving our God. Okay. Loving the power that created the universe. Loving the God that chose blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. I know it may look like he didn't choose you. I mean, in your mind, it may look like ain't no way in the heck God chose me, and I was born addicted to crack. My mama was a crackhead. Or I was born in the ghetto, the barrios of the reservation. How can you tell me God loves me when I'm in this condition? You got to know your history. History, not History Month, but the whole history of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You got to know your history, okay? And that is what this world do not want you to know. I saw a sign today driving down the interstate, and it had say something about Black history, but it said, I think the year was 1930 something or whatever, and they had some person did something or whatever, you know, they're glorifying, you know, some Israelite from 1930s or whatever. And that's all they give you. They're not going to go no further back than, you know, the turn of the century for you Negroes, because they don't want you to know your real history. Okay? They don't want you to find that out, figure out why you're in this condition. We think we're in this condition because we got to beg the white man to let us be equal to you, massa. I say the hell with that. Okay? I want rulership, what my father said I could have. Okay? I want that. I don't want no equality. I want supremacy. Okay? Let me be supreme. Check that out. Nigga supremacy. Nigga supremacy. All right? That's what I want. Okay? I don't want no equality. I'm not fighting to be equal. I'm fighting for supremacy of the earth, just like any other race on the earth. Right now, you know, China and Esau is going back and forth. You know what I mean? The Arabs are trying to jump in. Everybody wants supremacy. Well, so do I. But according to the records, the true history of the earth, I'll have that supremacy. All I got to do is wake my people up and as a family, as a nation, and come back to serve our God, and we'll get supremacy of the earth. Okay? So that's what it may look like. You're not chosen, but you are. Okay? God loves only blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. Okay? You just got to know your history. The history is we stopped keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. We went into Egypt again on slave ships. That's your history. Just figured out why you're in the condition you're in. You just figured it out. Now that you figured it out, you know that's the flip side of it. Now you know all you got to do is come back to the law, statutes, commandments, and your life turns around. You go from death to life, just like that, keeping the law, statutes, commandments. Okay? You just figured out why you're in the ghetto. It's not because God hates you. It's the opposite. It's because he loves you. He's punishing you. He chose you. He loves you. And by you not choosing him and loving him, he put you in slavery. Just figured it out. So God does love you. He don't hate you. He loves you. He's just trying to get you right. He's trying to get you right and showing you that, you know, your life is going to be better if you love him. You love him, your life is going to be better. How do you love him? You keep the law, statutes, and commandments. I don't know how many times I got to say it, but I'll keep saying it. I'm here all night. Okay. I'll be here tomorrow. The day after that, God willing, Most High willing. I'll be here next week, next month, next year, next century. Okay. I'll be here telling you to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments till Christ returns and give me supremacy. Give us all supremacy on the earth. We'll be the ruling class people. Okay. Supremacy. That's what it's all about. Okay. The only way you're going to get it by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments contained in your history. Okay. So here we go. Where we at? The book of 1 John, chapter 4 and verse 20. Let's read it. If any man say, I love God, and hateth his brother. Man, we just went through this. you're not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you hate your brother, man. You hate your brother. You hate your sister. You hate your mama. You hate your daddy because by you not keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, you giving them death. You put us in death instead of life. You put us in captivity instead of rulership. You put us in servitude instead of rulership. Okay. 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. If a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. We're in the New Testament, and it's trying to break down to you how you should live in the earth, how you should behave in the earth. And 2023, all these scriptures is breaking it down for you. For all the brothers and sisters who say they love God with your mouth, because man, we say it so quick, so easy. Comes out so easy. I love God. Comes out so easy. Well, right here is telling you, if you say that out your mouth and you hate your brother, you're a liar. You don't love Negroes. Nope. You don't love the Most High God. Okay. If any man say, I love God and hate his brother, he is a liar. You don't love God. You don't love Christ. You don't love your brother. You're lying. For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? That's heavy, man. You know what I mean? Because, you're supposed to love your brother as you love yourself. And you say you love God and you can't even love the brother next door to you. How can you love this invisible power that you claim you love? This power that got you in the ghetto. How can, got you getting shot down in the streets, got you in the condition you in, but you say you love God, but you hate your brother. You don't love God, you lying, okay? Because if you love God, you will love Negroes. You will love Hispanics and Native Indian people. That's part of the law. That's the whole point right here. Keeping the law. And the law says you're supposed to love your brother as you love yourself. Keeping the law is loving God. So if you say you love God, but you hate your brother, you don't love God. Because to love God is to keep his law, statutes, and commandments. And it's a commandment that you love your brothers. Okay, you love your sisters, you love your mama, love your daddy, aunties, uncles. If you don't love them, love your neighbor as you love yourself, then you don't love God. Okay? For he that loveth not his brother, whom he hath seen, how can he love God, whom he hath not seen? Okay? Verse 21. Okay? Verse 21. And this commandment have we from him. The him is the Most High God. This is a commandment. I just told you. You say you love God, you got to love your brother. We're about to read it. Okay? 1 John chapter 4 and verse 21. And this commandment have we from him, that he who loveth God love his brother also. You say you love God, you can't love God without loving your brother. You can't love God without loving Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. You got to love them. You got to love them. You say you love God, you got to love Negroes. And if you don't love Negroes, you're a liar. But listen, you can change that. Because this world that the Bible said not to love teaches you to hate Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Come into this school, come into the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, and we will teach you how to love your brother as you love yourself. Okay? They taught me. Okay? I thought I loved Negroes. I wasn't all the way there. I had to come into this school and start keeping these laws. Okay? And we read it. He that keepeth the law, in him is the love of God perfected. Okay? And that's what we are trying to achieve here. Perfection in loving God. How do we do that? Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? These laws are everything to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We shall do them. We shall keep them. Okay? That's your purpose in the earth. So let's go to, we'll stay right here in the first book of John. Go over to chapter 5 and verse 2. 1 John 5 and 2. Book of 1 John chapter 5 verse 2. Okay. 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 1 John chapter 5 and verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. So we right back on it, okay? We pushing the fact that how you show, according to these scriptures, how you show God you love him is by loving your brothers and sisters, by loving the lost 12 tribes of Israel, loving your family, loving your own people. Okay? By this, we know that we love the children of God. You say you love your brother? This is how we know that you love your brother. When we love God and keep his commandments. So if you say you love your brother, it's by keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. The law, statutes, and commandments teach you or show you how to treat one another. So you can't treat your brothers and sisters any kind of way and say you love them. This book tells you how to treat your brothers and sisters. It breaks it down to the all the way down to like feeding one another. There's scriptures that tell you when we're in rulership, we can't mar the edge of the fields. We can't, like if we grow grapes, we have 100 acres of grapes. There's all around that square acre, the square 100 acres, all the way around that, I got to leave grapes for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who can't afford grapes or who just happen to be, in the area and hungry or something to just be able to go over here and grab some grapes and get down. This world does not do that. They got hundreds and maybe thousands of acres right out west here, sugarcane. Thousands of acres of sugarcane, right? You better not be caught picking sugarcane it, you know, in them fields, you know, if you ain't pay for it, you going to jail. This society does not teach love like this book does, like our God teaches it. Okay. So if you say you love your brothers, if you say you love blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you have to, you will be keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay. Okay. That's what it's all about. These laws, statutes, and commandments. The love of God. This is how you know you love God. Keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. All right. 1 John chapter 5, verse 2. By this we know that we love the children of God. The children of God is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. When we love God and keep his commandments. Verse 3. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. I kind of touched on this earlier. Okay, but let's start right at the top, verse 3. This is the love of God. When people say they love God out their mouth to me, I take them here. Because if you're not keeping God's laws, statutes, and commandments, you can't say you love him. It's just words. Okay? It's just, we operate off feelings and emotions. And we should be operating off of laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Verse 3, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. Like I said, I touched it earlier. You make a choice. Pork or lamb? What's so hard about eating lamb instead of pork? It's just flesh. The only difference in this flesh is to Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, according to your God, one is unclean and one is clean. Your God created you. He knows what's clean and unclean to your body. Okay? So what's so hard about picking lamb or chicken or steak over pork? How hard? It's just flesh. You can trust me, that lamb is going to probably taste better than that pork. And here's the thing, your power told you to do it. So just do it. It's not grievous. It's not hard. Christmas, Passover. I'll take the Passover. You know what I mean? Like, it's not hard. You get to have a good time and party, feast, and drink and be merry. That's a real, you know what I mean? I'd rather do the Passover. You know what I'm saying? Your power told you to keep the Passover. But you rather keep Christmas than the Passover? You rather keep Easter than the Passover? Yo, man, you tripping. I'm telling you. Choose your God. Choose the Passover. It's not grievous. It's not hard, according to these scriptures. You just got to get your mind right. Okay? You got to come out of loving this world and love the world of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Stop loving this world and love the nigger world. Love the Hispanic world. Love the Native Indian world. Love the Lost 12 Tribe of Israel world. Love the world of the Black God. Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. It's not grievous. Okay? It's not grievous. Grouper, red snapper, salmon, or tuna. It's not hard. Give me salmon any day. It's like steak. Them groupers are so, the meat is so fluffy and soft and juicy. It's not grievous. All you got to do is choose to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? All right, so let's go to the book of Luke. Luke, chapter 14, verse 26. Let's see what this is talking about. Let's see what Luke got to say about these laws, statutes, and commandments that the Black God gave the lost 12 tribe of Israel. Okay. Because, we have to change our lives. Okay. We have to consciously, in the year 2023, make a decision to not love this world. Not love the things that we were taught. You have to change. You have to change your life from loving Christmas, from loving Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day, and start to love the days that the Most High, your God, gave you. You got to love Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, okay, blowing of the trumpets. And all it is, all these days that he gave you to celebrate, it's your history. It's all based off your history. Passover is based off the history of Negroes coming out of captivity. That's Black history right there. Eating the Feast of Unleavened Bread is the history of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, when they didn't have no leaven, we in such a hurry to get out of the captivity, which we should be in a hurry to do that right now, 2023. We should be in a hurry to get the hell out of this captivity. Okay, we should be in a hurry to start keeping these laws again. Okay. We should be in a hurry for that. Should be in a hurry to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. These days that our power gave us is the history of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian people. Okay? Everything is about your history. In this book. Okay? So why would you want Black history? Celebrate the Passover. That's wonderful Black history right there. Okay? You want Black history? Celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread. celebrate the Feast of First Fruits. That's Black history. These days that our God gave us, if we keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and celebrate his days and love his world that he established, love the society of Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the lost 12 tribes, that is how you love God, okay? By keeping his days, okay? Keeping the Day of Atonement, okay? Take one day out the year and show your God that, you know what I mean, you remember your history and he told you to suffer for one day, okay? I'll suffer for one day out of the year to prove to my God I love him. It's just one day. I'd rather suffer one day than to suffer 365 days a year. Because that's where we at today. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We suffer every day in this place, man. This world, we suffer every day. Give me the nigger world and just let me suffer one day out the year and I'm good. I'm to wob with that. I'll choose that. I choose my God. I choose law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? That's where we should be with it. Okay? Choosing the nigger God. Okay? So we're going to read some more about how to love your power, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. What it takes to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Okay? All right. So we at the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 26. Okay. Chapter 14 and verse 26. If any man come to me and hate not his father and mother and wife and children and brethren and sister, yea, in his own life also, cannot be my disciple. Okay, this is Christ talking. All right. And basically it goes into this, what I was saying earlier. We got to change our lives. If you're not willing to change your life and hate this world, okay, hating this world in perspective is going against birthdays, going against Christmas, not celebrating birthdays and Christmas, not celebrating Valentine's Day. But let's say you got family, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got children, you got mom and dads, and we have not changed our lives yet. We're still in this world. And lo and behold, you find out the truth that these laws, statutes, and commandments are required of us from our God. And you say, I'm going to change my life. Guess what now? If your family members don't change their lives too, you got to hate them. You got to hate the things that they are still doing. And they're going to look at it. You don't hate them, but they're going to look at it like you hate them. Okay? You don't hate them. You love them because you're keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. You're trying to give them life. You're trying to give them life instead of this death that we're in. You actually love them, but they're going to look at you like you hate them. If you change your life, and let's say your loved one, your wife or your husband don't, and you don't celebrate Valentine's Day, shit, you must hate me. That's how they're going to look at you. Okay? You love them, but they're going to think you hate them. Okay? You got children, you've been celebrating their birthday since they were born. They look forward to it. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, you find these law, statutes, and commandments, you find the nigger God, and you change your life, and you try to show them how to change their lives, they're going to think you hate them. In the beginning, they're going to think you hate them because you didn't buy a birthday present. You didn't buy a birthday present, so you must hate me. Okay, which that's the whole. We got it all twisted in this earth today. Okay, because we were born into this stuff. But lo and behold, you find these laws, statutes, and commandments. You get to change your life. Okay, you get to actually show them that you actually really love them. Okay, so you got to stand strong and let them think that you hate them, and Lord allow they'll come around. Lord allow they'll come around. They'll see you fighting every demon on the earth, and they'll see that you actually love them. Okay, and that's what this scripture is saying. You have to change your life. That's what it's all about. Don't just say you love God. Change your life and start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and show God that you love him. Show your mama, your daddy, your wife, your husband, your children. Show them you love God and you love them and you love yourself by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments and choosing life instead of death. Okay? Choose life instead of death. So it's all about changing your life, learning how to serve your power, learning these laws, statutes, and commandments, learning your Black history, learning, the history of Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, learning about the Passover, learning about the Feast of Unleavened Bread, learning about the Feast of Tabernacles. Okay, learn about the blowing of the trumpets. Learn about the Day of Atonement. Okay, learn your history. Learn how to love your God. Okay, and it's all contained in these scriptures. And under Commanding General Yohana, we've been commissioned to teach you how to change your life and serve the nigga God. Okay. So we could drop that one. Let's see. Bubbly. Let me see. Drop that. Let's go to let's see. Let's see what I'm talking about over here. We might have, let's go. Let's see if I can find it. All right, let's go to the book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 4. All right. Book of Daniel, chapter 9 and verse 4. Daniel was a hardcore brother. All right. Who taught Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that we should love the nigga God and keep his law, statutes, and commandments. Okay. So let's read what Daniel got to say in chapter 9 and verse 4. Okay. Daniel chapter 9, verse 4. And I pray unto the Salakia. And I pray unto the Lord my God, and made my confessions. Okay. And said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him, and to them that keep his commandments. Man, that's why, man, I love this book. Boy, this book these books that have been assembled and put together, these records, the history of Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Indians, it's a wonderful history. It's a wonderful history. We got a lot of wonderful brothers and a lot of wonderful sisters that, you know what I mean, did wonderful things in the earth. And they're in the history book of niggas, okay? And right here, Daniel, he's, you know what I mean? This is the Old Testament, okay? Daniel, remember we talked about earlier that we looked at our power as a dreadful God, okay? Because Daniel knew that the God of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians would kill and make alive. He'll kill the whole earth, okay, for his chosen, okay? And then Yahushua came on the scene and broke it down to the bone gristle, the white meat, and taught us this terrible power is your father. You should look at him like that. He loves you, okay? And the reason why you're going through the ghetto, the reason why you're in the barrios, the reason why you're on the reservation is because he loves you, okay? And like any good father, when you go off, he's going to spank that tail. He's going to punish you, okay? And like Daniel said it right here, and I prayed unto the Lord, my God, and made my confessions and said, "O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him." So he talking about that covenant, okay, that we went into with our power, okay? And Daniel's breaking it down, man. Your power is gonna make you the ruling class. He'll keep his part of the covenant. He'll keep his part of the agreement. You just got to keep your part, okay? You got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, okay? Keeping the covenant in mercy to them that love him, okay? Because he'll have mercy on you and get you out of the ghetto. You'll go straight from the ghetto to being the ruling class people on the earth. Same thing he did with Adam. He took Adam from the dust and made him civilized. Adam was the ruler of the earth. He was top dog. All because, you know what I mean, he did what the power of the universe told him to do. And we have a covenant now that say if we come back and change our life and keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, that we will be the ruling class on the earth. We will have nigger supremacy on the earth, okay? And that's what it's all about. That's what these laws are about, man. The laws are about you being the ruling class or being in the on a reservation somewhere, being in the ghetto or in the barrio, okay? That's what these laws is all about. The love of your father, these laws, statutes, and commandments. He's going to prove it to you. He's going to prove to you if you really love him or not. How's he going to prove it? If you love him, he'll give you rulership. He'll give you ruling status of the earth. If you don't love him, you'll be in the ghetto. You'll be getting hanged by trees. You'll be on the bottom. Okay? You'll be the hated in the earth. All the other nations round about will eat you up. Okay? That's what's going to happen to you if you don't love God. If you just say it with your mouth, okay, and not do the physical work of showing God you love him, then, you know, this is the condition. This is the condition. This is the result, okay? Everything we go through in the earth today is the result of us not loving our God since the time of Moses, when he gave us the covenant, okay? When he gave us, when we said we agreed to keep these laws, okay? That's it. All right. So we gotta change our lives, change your life. You gotta get strong. Keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. We read it's not grievous. You go to the supermarket, buy some beef instead of pork. Buy chicken instead of pork. Buy lamb instead of pork. Okay. You go to the seafood department, get salmon instead of tuna. Okay. You have days that you have to acknowledge and celebrate. Not Christmas, not Easter, not Thanksgiving, but the Passover, Feast of Unleavened Bread, blowing of the trumpets. Okay. Day of Atonement. Choose this. Choose God's ways and walk in them. Okay. And that's what it's all about, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the class. We right up on the time. Okay, I think I beat you in the head enough tonight with it. I'll be back tomorrow, though, give you some more. Okay, but no, we'll be here Friday. Officer Itazab will be in the building. He'll be pushing the same thing, Black culture, Black history with this Hebrew language, okay? So tune in, watch Officer Itazab break down the history of our language, okay, to Friday from 7 to 9 p.m., okay? So with that, I'm going to let y'all have the rest of y'all evening, okay? Enjoy it, be safe, keep these laws, all right? So salute the brothers out and then the sisters. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Barakathum to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Alatah Alatan Bahashem Yahweh Shai to the sisters, okay? Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. We started out of 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York. Now we all around the world. Okay, we're under Commanding General Yohana. We're not affiliated with any other Hebrew Israelite group. Okay, and with that, shalom.